Today, we're digging into something you've probably seen in a dozen movies, but it's also a terrifying reality, the 24-hour golden rule. We're going to break down that life or death timeline that can change absolutely everything.
Right? You've seen it a million times. Someone gets taken, and boom, this frantic countdown clock starts ticking. But is that just Hollywood trying to build suspense? Or is there something real, something truly vital behind that 24-hour deadline? Well, let's get right into it. That whole movie trope is actually rooted in a very, very real principle that law enforcement all over the world relies on. They call it the golden time. Now, for most crimes, investigators figure they have about a 48-hour window where the evidence is still fresh and the leads are hot. But when a person's life is hanging in the balance, that window gets cut in half. In these situations, time isn't just a factor, it is the most critical element, period. So what exactly are these golden 24 hours? And why on earth do they make such a huge difference? Let's break that down. This number, 24 hours, it isn't random. It's not arbitrary. It represents the single most critical period in any abduction case. It's the time frame where the chances of a good outcome are at their absolute highest. And here's the official definition for you. The golden rescue time is that first 24-hour block right after someone is taken. This is the period where a rescue isn't just possible, it's probable. After this window closes, the odds, well, they start to drop, and they drop fast. So why is this window so incredibly important? It really boils down to three key things. First, the captors themselves are vulnerable. They're often still on the move, or maybe holding the victim somewhere temporary and not very secure. Second, all the evidence is fresh. We're talking digital footprints, cell phone pings, witness memories. It's all still active and actionable. And third, all of that means the rescue teams can be super effective, piecing together that puzzle at lightning speed. But here's the thing. Just having that golden window isn't a guarantee. Being able to actually use it, well, that depends on a whole bunch of other variables that can either speed up a rescue or slam that window shut for good. You know, a successful operation really hinges on three big things. First, the tech. Can the victim or a witness even make a call for help? Second, the police response. How fast are they? And are they experienced in this kind of crisis? And finally, the rescue team itself. Are they ready to go? Do they have the right skills for the job? And this is the crucial part. Any hesitation, any lack of preparation is basically a gift to the kidnapper. Inexperience, slow decision-making, a team that's not properly equipped, all of that can burn through those precious 24 hours, and the consequences can be absolutely devastating. Okay, we're going to make a pretty important shift here. We've been talking about the rescuers, but what about the victim? What can a person actually do from the inside to survive long enough for that rescue to even happen? This right here is the single most important piece of advice. I know it sounds impossible, but your own panic can become a weapon against you. It stresses out your captor, and that can lead them to do something rash, something violent. Taking a deep breath and getting your fear under control is your first and best line of defense. So once you're as calm as you can be, you have to start assessing your captor. Are they a nervous, disorganized amateur, or are they a calm, methodical professional? The answer to that question completely changes your survival strategy. See, a novice is dangerously unpredictable, while a pro is ruthlessly focused on their goal. You have to adapt your approach based on who you're dealing with. And let's dig a little deeper into that novice category, because it gets even more nuanced. If their motive is revenge, their main goal might just be to hurt you. That makes the situation extremely volatile. But if it's for money, you're valuable to them alive. In that case, cooperating dramatically increases your chances, because most criminals really, really want to avoid a murder charge. The way you talk, the way you communicate, can completely de-escalate a crisis. Speak clearly. Stay calm. Acknowledge what they're saying. Just a simple, okay, I understand shows you're complying. You want to avoid arguments at all costs. But at the same time, don't lose yourself. Holding on to who you are is absolutely key to staying mentally strong. Now, this is a point that cannot be stressed enough. This is a critical warning. While you might look for an opening with a panicked amateur, trying to escape from a professional is almost always a fatal mistake. They have planned for it. They expect it, and they will likely use extreme force to get you back under control. Your best bet is to wait for the rescue. All right, we've gone through the theory. Now let's look at the stark reality. These are real-world cases that show you exactly what's at stake when that clock is ticking and what happens when it runs out. Let's start with a success story.
Back in 2015, Juliana Morris was abducted, but because of a swift, highly effective police response launched right inside that 24-hour window, they found her and they rescued her. It's a textbook example of the system working exactly as it should. But what happens when that window is missed entirely? The case of Elizabeth Fritzl is just a chilling, horrifying answer. She wasn't lost for 24 hours. She was lost for 24 times years. A whole lifetime of unimaginable horror unfolded because no one found her in that initial critical time frame. And the consequences can be just as devastating even without a locked basement. In 2013, 4 children were found who had been so severely neglected by their mother that they couldn't speak or walk. The rescue eventually came, but it was years and years too late. That golden window wasn't just missed, it was like it never even existed. After hearing these stories, the main takeaway here is just undeniable. Whether you're a victim, a witness, or you just suspect something is wrong, your first and most critical move is to contact the police. That single action is what starts the clock on the golden hours. So let's just quickly recap what we've learned. First, the golden 24 hours is a very real, life-saving window of opportunity. Second, a successful rescue depends on a mix of technology and human expertise. Third, for victims, the strategy is to stay calm, figure out who you're dealing with, and cooperate smart. But everything starts with that one first step, reporting it immediately. And that leaves us with one last pretty big question. We live in a world with instant communication, with incredible tracking technology. The tools are all there. But as a society, are we truly prepared to use them effectively when it matters most? When a life is literally hanging in the balance of the next 24 hours?